Buckle up, truckers and trucking enthusiasts. Hello, I'm Charles, and welcome to All About the Drive News, where this week we're diving headfirst into the thrilling world of trucking news. Yes, you heard that right. From November 22 to the 28th, 2024, the trucking industry, bless its cotton socks, has been about as dramatic as a reality show about long-haul ice road kittens. We've got acquisitions, SEC fines, and a whole heap of news that'll either leave you saying, well, that makes sense, or scratching your head so hard you could power a small wind turbine. So whether you're a seasoned trucker, someone who can identify a Mack truck from 50 paces, or just someone who enjoys a good old-fashioned corporate shakeup, this week's top 10 trucking news stories are sure to have something for everyone. So, put the kettle on, grab a biscuit, and let's get down to business. Go big or go home. Apparently, our first story takes us straight into the fast lane of corporate mergers and acquisitions. This week, Schneider National, a name that probably makes you think of either a reliable trucking company or a delicious pastry, depending on your priorities, announced they're acquiring Cowan Systems. Now, for those of you who haven't memorized every trucking company on the NASDAQ, Cowan Systems is a big deal on the U.S. East Coast, specializing in dedicated trucking. What does this mean for Schneider? Well, imagine you're at a potluck and you bring a perfectly respectable bowl of potato salad. Then someone shows up with a whole bloody buffet, complete with a chocolate fountain. That's essentially what's happening here. Schneider's swallowing up Cowan's market share, expanding its dedicated trucking segment, and basically saying to the Eastern Seaboard, we're here, we deliver, get used to it. This acquisition is big news in the trucking world, and we'll be following it closely to see how it shakes out. But one thing's for sure, things are about to get a whole lot more Schneider. Underwhelming package, shenanigans. Our next story involves everyone's favorite package, delivery giant, UPS. Known for their brown trucks and uniforms, UPS is in the news for something less fragrant. The SEC fined UPS for creative accounting before selling UPS Freight to TFI International. Imagine selling your used car, claiming it's worth $10,000 because of its new car smell from 1998. The SEC wasn't buying it, and now UPS is paying the price. Canadian Cartage buys out CPX. Who would have thought? Well, folks, it seems the Canadians are at it again. But this time, it's not a polite apology or a moose riding a Zamboni. No, this time it's about trucking, specifically the acquisition of Coastal Pacific Express by Canada Cartage. Coastal Pacific Express is a temperature-sensitive carrier based in Surrey, British Columbia. They move stuff that needs to stay cold, like maple syrup slushies. Canada Cartage is expanding its reach in the refrigerated transport sector. Congratulations to Canada Cartage and Coastal Pacific Express. May your trucks always be full and your drivers have Timbits within arm's reach. The freight seas are somewhat calmer. All right, let's talk about the U.S. freight market, which for a while there was about as stable as a Jenga tower built on a roller coaster. But hold on to your hats, everyone, because there's good news. The market is showing signs of returning to balance after a period of volatility that would make even the most seasoned economist reach for their anxiety medication. Now, I'm not saying everything is suddenly sunshine and roses. We're not talking about a market that suddenly decided to take up yoga and meditation. But things are looking less like a scene from Mad Max Fury Road and more like, well, a slightly less chaotic Mad Max sequel. One of the big drivers of this newfound stability is, ironically, everyone calming the hell down about supply chain disruptions. Remember those? Those were fun, weren't they? Panic buying toilet paper and hand sanitizer like we were preparing for the apocalypse. Good times. But here's the thing. As things have calmed down, demand has stabilized. And that's good news for everyone, especially those who enjoy predictable shipping costs and not having to remortgage their homes to afford a pallet of paper towels. Oh, Canada, your spot market is looking up. Well, look who's back for round two. It seems Canada, not satisfied with just dominating the refrigerated trucking game, is also seeing improvements in its spot market. That's right, folks. October saw capacity tightening and the truck-to-load ratio decreasing, which, for those of you who don't speak fluent trucking, means things are looking up. Now, I know what you're thinking. Charles, this is all well and good, but what does this actually mean for me, a person who primarily interacts with the trucking industry through the occasional frustrated honk at a semi? And that's a fair question. Essentially, this positive trend in the Canadian spot market is a good indicator of overall economic health. When goods are moving efficiently, it means businesses are humming along, which in turn means more jobs, more money flowing through the economy, and hopefully more of those delicious Nanaimo bars that Canada seems to keep all to itself. So, congratulations, Canada, on your robust spot market and your delicious, yet sadly under-exported desserts. You're truly an inspiration to us all, even if we'll never admit it out loud. A partnership in name only? All right, let's talk about California. Specifically, the California Clean Truck Partnership, which despite the name, seems to be causing quite a stir. Who'd have thought something called clean could cause such a stir? It's like discovering a hidden secret about a seemingly innocent product. The American Trucking Associations, or ATA, is urging manufacturers to ditch this so-called partnership. Why? Well, they're worried about the impact on the industry. And let's face it, the trucking industry is about as glamorous as a gas station bathroom. They need all the help they can get. The ATA argues that the partnership's goals, while admirable in theory, are about as realistic as a unicorn riding a Segway to work. They claim the technology just isn't there yet. Enforcing it could cripple the industry. Now, I'm no expert, but when a group representing truckers starts throwing around words like cripple, you know things are about to get messy. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck. But instead of a train, it's a giant truck full of regulations. And instead of a wreck, it's just a lot of paperwork. But still, messy. Hackers and highways don't mix. Remember that whole Y2K thing? The fear, the uncertainty, the hoarding? Now it's hackers targeting the trucking industry. Cyber attacks, folks. Not just for banks and tech companies anymore. They're coming for the backbone of our economy, the truck driver. Imagine someone hacking a truck to blast Mambo No 5 on repeat. Small trucking businesses are particularly vulnerable, like a goldfish to a bear attack. They lack resources for robust cybersecurity, relying on a rusty padlock and a prayer. Not saying we should go full Luddite, but we need to take cybersecurity seriously, or your Amazon package gets held hostage by a teenager. Nobody wants that. They're not just making your parents' station wagon anymore. Finally, some good news. Volvo, the company known for making cars so safe they could probably survive a meteor strike, is now using their powers for good in the trucking world. That's right. They're bringing artificial intelligence to the open road. No, this isn't some dystopian future where trucks are driving themselves and judging our every lane change. This is about making trucks smarter, not sentient. Volvo is using AI to power an adaptive maintenance system. Think of it like a Fitbit for your semi, but instead of tracking steps, it's tracking engine performance and predicting potential problems. The goal is to minimize downtime and keep those trucks rolling. Because time is money, especially in the trucking industry. Every minute a truck is stuck in the shop is a minute it's not delivering those essential cargo pants you ordered online. So, hats off to Volvo for using technology to make the trucking industry just a little bit less chaotic. Now, if only they could use that same technology to make my commute a little less soul-crushing. I'm just saying a little AI-powered traffic avoidance wouldn't hurt. Nikola leading the charge. All right, let's talk about Nikola. Now, before we get into the inevitable jokes about their name sounding like a villain from a Bond film who's really into sustainable energy, we need to talk about their hydrogen trucks. Because, folks, they're kind of a big deal right now. See, Nikola is throwing some serious weight, pun intended, behind hydrogen power, and it seems to be paying off. They've been busy inking deals left and right, like a caffeinated octopus with a contract fetish. Just recently, they partnered with DHL, the shipping giant. DHL is adding Nikola's hydrogen trucks to their fleet, presumably to offset the carbon footprint of shipping all those questionable Amazon purchases we all make. And if that wasn't enough, Diageo North America, the company that brings you your fancy liquors, also jumped on the hydrogen bandwagon with Nikola. It seems everyone wants a piece of the zero-emission action. Brace yourselves. Prices are going up. And now for the news that will shock absolutely no one. Shipping prices are going up. This time, it's the LTL carriers, those folks who handle your smaller shipments. They've been busy laying the groundwork for some hefty price hikes in 2025. We're talking general rate increases, the kind that make you want to scream into the void, or maybe just into a pile of packing peanuts. How hefty are we talking? Oh, just a casual 4.9% to 7.9%. Now I know what you're thinking. Charles, my sweet summer child, haven't shipping prices suffered enough already? And to that, I say, bless your heart, you innocent little lamb. Because the truth is, the shipping industry doesn't care about your feelings. They care about their bottom line. And right now, that bottom line is telling them to jack up those prices. Well, folks, that's the long and short of it. Another week, another batch of trucking news, digested and regurgitated for your viewing pleasure. Remember, if you ever find yourself feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information out there, just take a deep breath, put on your trucker hat, optional, but encouraged, and know that you're not alone. That's all for this week's Top Trucking News Stories. Stay tuned for more updates next week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest in trucking news. Stay safe and keep the shiny side up.